Am I audible?
Yes, Radhika.
Today we shall be reading the Murli dated 29th of March 1982. Title of the Murli is To be a true Vaishnav means to be one who constantly picks up virtues. A true Vaishnav is one who constantly picks up true virtues. Today, Babdada was creating a rosary. Which rosary? He was making a rosary of the elevated virtues of every elevated soul because Bapdada knows that every elevated child of the elevated father has his or her own speciality. Let's underline this. What does Bapdada says? That he knows his child's each and every speciality. Each of you is claiming your elevated reward at the confluence age on the basis of your own virtues. Today, Babdada is especially looking at the virtues of the infantry group, even if it is said to be the last group in terms of effort, they too definitely have some special virtues, and it is on the basis of those virtues that those souls have come to belong to the Father. So, Babdada did not go into depth from the first number to the last number, but he saw the virtues of each one from the last to the first. Even up to the last number, all were virtuous. It is not possible for a child of God not to have any virtues. It is on the basis of those virtues that you are leading a Brahmin life. That is, that you are still alive. According to the drama, it is those virtues that have made you a child of the highest on high. Highest of high, Father. It is because of those virtues that you are loved by God. This is why Baba was making a garland of virtues in this way by seeing the speciality of every Brahmin soul. You will easily and automatically have the feeling that that soul is an elevated soul because the basis to be an elevated soul is virtues. Some souls know about virtues, but because they have had the habit of seeing rubbish for birth after birth, they do not see virtues but only see defects. However, to see weaknesses and to imbibe weaknesses is a mistake, just like accepting impure food. Just give me a second. Sorry for the interruption. I think there is a technical glitch. Just give me a second. If you accept impure food as part of your diet, you feel that it's a big mistake. You then write to Baba saying that you are weak in the dharana of your food and diet. You realize that it was a mistake, do you not? In the same way, if you imbibe someone's weakness or defects in yourself, understand that you are someone who accepts impure food. You are then not a true Vaishnav, not one who brings to the dynasty of who belongs to the dynasty of Vishnu. You would then become part of Rama's army. This is why you constantly have to be an image of virtues who always picks up virtue. Today, Babdada was seeing the children's clever games. Let's see which games Baba is seeing today. He's asking, can you remember your games? The biggest thing is to look at and know the weaknesses of others. You think this is being very clever? You think this is being knowledgeful. However, to know means to change. If you know and you become knowledgeful for a few moments, then what do you do as a result of being knowledgeful? Knowledge is said to be light and might. You came to know that someone has a weakness, but did you burn your own weakness or the weakness of others with 139 power, with the power of knowledge? Did you transform it? Did you demonstrate it by changing it in yourself or in others? Or did you seek revenge? If you do not use the light and might of knowledge, then would you call that knowing or being knowledgeful? To know without using the to know without using the light and might of knowledge is like the knowledge of the scriptures that the scholars of the Copper Age have. Those who do not know anything about weaknesses are better than those who know about, even in this way. Within the Brahmin family, such souls are jokingly considered to be Buddhu. You say to each other, you are a Buddhu. You do not know anything. However, it is good to be a Buddha in this respect. Such souls will not use any weaknesses nor imbibe them, nor do they come in the list of those who gossip about them. Weaknesses are rubbish. If you do notice them and you have the power to burn them, then be a master son of knowledge and become one who has positive thoughts about others. If there is a slightest rubbish in your intellect, you won't be able to keep the remembrance of the clean Guru Father in it. You won't be able to achieve anything. Once your intellect instills the habit of imbibing rubbish, your intellect will repeatedly be drawn to rubbish against your conscious with, and what would the result of that be? It would become a natural sanskar. It would then take efforts and time to transform that sanskar. To speak about the weakness of others means to allow yourself to be influenced by the weakness of thinking about others. However, at that time, you do not understand that to speak about the weaknesses of others means to show your own weakness in the power to accommodation. Always see any soul as an image of virtue. If someone does have a weakness and is doing something against the code of conduct, then bring that to the Supreme Court created by Bap Dada. Do not become a lawyer or a judge yourself. You forget the relationship of brotherhood and become a lawyer or a judge. And this is why you are unable to maintain the virtues of brotherhood. You are not forbidden to present a case, but do not allow there to be any mature or mixture or dishonesty in that. As much as possible, give a signal with good wishes. Do not keep it in your mind and do not become an obstruction to others becoming manabhav. So, what are the clever games that you play? You spread whatever you would accommodate, accommodate within yourself, and you merge within yourself what you should spread and say. This is within everyone. So always keep yourself well away from any kind of uncleanliness, any type of impurity in your thoughts, words, deeds, or connections and relationships will deprive you of the elevated attainment of the confluence age. Time will pass, and you will then have to come in the list of those who say, I have to attain. You will not then be in the list of those who are embodiments of all attainments. Would you like it if, as children of the Master of all treasures, You have to come in the list of those who lack attainment. This is why you must engage yourselves in attaining everything. Be one who has positive thoughts about others. Do not be influenced by any vice and don't show your wrong kind of cleanliness. Sorry, wrong kind of cleverness. Do not show your wrong kind of cleverness. This wrong cleverness will make you happy for a temporary period or even make your companions sing the praise of your cleverness, but always be aware of the philosophy of karma. Wrong cleverness will make you hang upside down if you show your cleverness for a temporary period now. You will then have to cry out in distress instead of simply managing do. Some show such cleverness that they try to manage ba- that they try to manage Bap Dada, Didi, and Dade in every situation. They know all of these methods. You may be able to make them accept something that gives you the wrong type of attainment for a temporary period. But what did you gain through that? And what did you lose? You may gain a name for yourself for 2 or 3 years, but you lose, you lose out on gaining a name for an elevated state or an elevated or on an elevated status for many births. So, is that attaining something or losing something? Should Baba tell you of the other cleverness? At such a time, you use points of knowledge and say, at least allow the instant fruit now, at least attain the instant fruit now. We will see about the future later. However, the instant fruit of supersensuous happiness is for all time, not just for a temporary period. No matter how much someone challenges you to eat the instant fruit as well as eating the fruit of temporary name and happiness, you will also definitely be eating thorns of discontentment at the same time. You will not be able to experience satisfaction or contentment of the mind. So do not play such games of descending stage. Bapdada feels mercy for such souls. What have you come here to become, and what are you becoming instead? Always keep the aim to check whether the actions you perform are going to be liked by God. Since God has chosen you, it is the duty of you children to perform every action in a way that is going to be liked by the Father. by God. Wear the garland of virtues that the Father places around your neck, and not the garland of pebbles. Wear the garland of jewels. Acha, to those who are constantly images of virtues, to those who are loved by God, to those who are constantly true Vaishnavas and who claim a right to the kingdom of Vishnu, to those who easily keep the vision of brotherhood constant, those who easily keep the vision of brotherhood constant by having constant good wishes, to those who always have the vision to pick virtues, to those who become constantly equal to the Father, to the jewels who are close, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. From us children, love, namaste, and remembrance to Bapdada. Bapdada meeting a group meetings, children of the highest on high Father, instead of playing with mud, seeing in the swing of swing in the swing of supersensuous joy. Do you constantly experience yourself to be embodiments of all attainment? To be an embodiment of attainment means to be one who's seeing, who's swinging in the swing of supersensuous joy. You will then constantly experience the company of the one Father and none other. Since the Father has become yours in all relationships, you should have the constant company of the Father, no matter how big the adverse situation may be or how big a mountain may be. Simply continue to fly above it with the Father, and you will never come to a halt, just as mountain cannot stop an aeroplane. Those who climb the mountain will have to make a lot of effort, whereas those who fly will easily be able to go over the mountain. In this way, no matter how big the situation in front of you may be, continue to fly with the Father, and you will be able to overcome it in a second. Never get off the swing, otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, you will get dirty. How can those who are dirty meet the Father? You have been separated for a long time and are now celebrating a meeting, that is Mela. And so, how can those who are celebrating a meeting becomes dirty, that is Mela in Hindi? Babdada wants to see every child as a lamb of the clan, a number one child. If you keep getting dirty over and over again, so much time will be wasted in getting clean again. Therefore, constantly stay in this meeting. Why do you put your feet in the mud? How can the children of such an elevated father be dirty? Who would then believe that you are the children of of that highest father? So past is past. Whatever happens is the next second is finished. Don't get confused about anything. Keep thinking about the eternal self. Don't listen to gossip and don't engage yourself in gossips. It is this that makes you dirty. Finish question marks now and put a full stop because a point and fly become a point and fly with the father, the point. Acha, Om Shanti. Let's take few moments of silence and then we'll come back sharing the reflections of today's Murli. You can unmute and share your takeaways from the Murli.
Oh, Shanti. So,
Thank you, Vijay Bhai.
so Papa would like to be an image of virtues. So Baba wants to see us seeing the virtues of one another, not the defects. So defects. If we are looking at defects, that means we are getting dirty. We are not true Vaishnavas. So then we will not be able to maintain a true brotherhood. So we should not be looking at others' weaknesses, or we shouldn't be gossiping about it. So Baba doesn't really like that. So Baba says the power that which we need is to power to accommodate. So we have to, if we see other man's weaknesses also, then if we have this power, then it becomes easy to, accommodate. So yeah, so this is the main takeaway for me to check if I'm looking at the virtues of other people that I'm coming, the day from the morning till evening. So with more contacts that are coming, so my intention would be to check their virtues, not their defects. Thank you, Amshan.
Yeah, and Baba says for that if you see weaknesses of others, you are actually wearing the garland of pebbles. And
Yeah.
then he says it's a checking point for you. The moment you start checking weaknesses or you are pointing out weaknesses of others, then it's about your power of accommodation that is lacking. So the whole Murli today, Baba, is speaking about how to imbibe the quality of seeing specialities of others. And that's such a space where Baba is seeing his children's specialties only. And that's where whatever way his children is, he is always with children. It's only us that we need to check, are we in the company of Baba all the time? Om Shanti. Any other from anyone?
Om Shanti, Raki Ben.
Om Shanti, Javan.
Even though I'm really very associated with this Vaishnav clan, just what struck me in the Murli is the first two sentences of God, where he said, each child definitely has some virtue or not. That is when he chose to be the infantry group, the last group. He's saying, yeah, they may be last, but every child of God, the only one certificate that you belong to God is enough for you, that you have been picked by God, that you have virtues. And such child, Baba says, is the child of not just God, it's highest and high God. And they're loved by God. And when Baba here is not just speaking about Vaishnavas, I think when you just say the word Vaishnavas, like there are so many isms. You have Shaivism, you have Smartism, you have Shaktism, and all that. But Vaishnavism is also just a faith where they regard the personality of Vishnu to be the one and only God. And these Vaishnavas are generally related to, I think, the Srila Prabhupada. What is that called? That is one of the scriptures of the ISKCON movement. And what are the qualities of Vaishnavites are mentioned in what we call it as one of the scriptures, which is called as Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, it's given. What attracted me, why I'm mentioning it, there were so many virtues they are given. But one virtue which I like, that is, no sensual desires be wildered them. They are nothing of those desires. If you go, there is a list of so many things for the Vaishnava. But here Baba speaks about Brahminical Vaishnava. It's not just plain, it's a little more a Vaishnava who has become a Brahmin by becoming the child of God. And over there, Baba just mentions only one thing. If you see in the whole Murli, when Baba himself does not see any weakness in you, even though you're the last number, he just looks at your specialities. So, not to look at the weakness of others. And if you say, sometimes they say, if you know what is the weak point of others, you can conquer them. Sometimes it is said in management terms, know what is the weakness of other person and correct it. Baba is saying that is not knowledge. If you know the weakness, you should have had the strength to burn it and strength to weak it. Otherwise, it's just like as if you know somebody's weakness, like knowing the knowledge of the scriptures and all. And as a Vaishnav, you should not even take a little rubbish. As you see, these Vaishnavites, they never any rubbish or anything. They just go and have a bath. Immediately they have to have a bath. And there were so many instances, even if somebody touches them, impure people touch them, they go and have a bath. But here Baba is talking about the rubbish in your mind. If you do it, you cannot keep the clean, pure father in your intellect. One is keeping, second is speaking. Don't do all that. Baba is saying, if you see, don't become a lawyer, bring them to the father. Just don't gossip about it and all. Just give a father and then close the story by giving them good wishes to all of them. Man, mana, bhav. I think this is a beautiful flow chart which Baba has created. Om Shanti.
Very well brought in the whole Murli as a flowchart, Girijaban. And one point that you mentioned, in the worldly space, people say that if you want to win over anyone's space, know their weakness. And Today Baba says that that's just temporary winning. It's only momentary winning. And then he brings in the law of karma here, and he says that this temporary winning is going to be momentary gratification, but at a later date, it will hang you upside down. So he's also brought in the point of karma in this simple virtue of only looking at speciality into such a deeper space. That be aware and a simple uh, thing of just looking at speciality with such a deep sense, Baba has explained today that the moment you start looking at or gossiping about others or looking at their weaknesses, you are stopping yours as well as others' space in being man manabhav. Thank you for bringing that point, Girijaban. Anybody else want to share their takeaways?
uh, about the power of accommodation. So the power of accommodation, right? So that's a wonderful power. I think when we lack this power, that is when we are uh, looking at other man's weaknesses and then gossiping. Okay, that outcome. So if you check in the eight powers, right? So it is shown that the ocean, right? Ocean is accommodating everything, all the waste and everything coming from all over. So ocean, if there is anything waste, right? If something that is heavy, ocean is taking that into the depth of ocean to the sea, into the sea, right? I mean, into the seabed to the bottom, and something light, even that is waste, then it will throw away, right? With the power of waves, right? So that will be thrown out of the ocean. So, so if we check this, right, when it comes to our day-to-day life, so we will definitely see other man's weaknesses, right? Because we are coming in contact with them and nobody is perfect yet. And people are going to make mistakes, because everybody is trying their best to conquer the weaknesses and try to put effort to become number one. Everybody in that journey. So when we see other man's weaknesses, we have the power to accommodate. That means though we see other man's weaknesses, if we have this power, then just like the ocean, we will take that in. We don't take that into us, but we will understanding that, right? We don't really discuss or relate it with others. Just like ocean take heavy things inside, similarly we will also take it inside or something light, we will just throw it away. Right? We don't, I mean, throw it away in the sense we don't share it with others. So, right. So, if we are not able to do that, that means when we see somebody else, right, then we start taking up that matter and then start, discussing with others, right, the weaknesses. So that is, that is what is really screwing up things, right? The vibration will become, I mean, it will spoil, and the atmosphere is collapsed. And most important, Baba said today, is the remembrance, right? We cannot stabilize ourselves in that stage of manmanab, of our drishti, that brotherhood drishti is not there. So we are not becoming true Vaishnava so much. So I think the bottom line is the power of accommodation. So it's a great power to have it, though we see other man's weaknesses, but we should not take it up. We should see immediately. We should be able to see their virtues, because, like Baba said, everybody is with one or the other virtues. That's why God chose them. Even the last number child is also with some of the other qualities. So our ability lies in, lies in if we can find that one quality of the other man's. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to share. Thank you.
But Bijit Bhai, what I think your power of accommodate even, we have to first see. See, the only one person, there is a saying, is mother. There's a saying, in Tamil, which they say, Kakeku then kunju pun kunju. That is, a crow sees its child as the golden crow, which can sing the best in the world. So even for power to accommodate, I have to see the weakness. Baba is not saying not to see the weakness and all. Baba is saying don't imbibe it. Don't put it in your system. Baba is saying, even there, he says, present the case. So that means I cannot see weakness. I cannot be like that royal mother who doesn't see weakness. If I have to even accommodate, I have to see, but I shouldn't pick it up and imbibe. I should just present it to the Supreme Court. But the question is not to see, if I can say, I think that kind of not to see virtues, that's a little tough.
Yeah, seeing anyway will come, right? That is why. See, when we see it, we will realize it's a weakness. But having said that, what I meant is the relating it with the others, and gossiping. So that is when seeing other man's weakness is not really creating a bad vibration, right? It is vibration is created when we start thinking about it and when we start relating with others, right? Sorry for the interruption. Sorry.
Would anyone else want to add on or share their points before we move on to meditation? All right, let's take a moment, a short meditation, just be in silence, and let's just visualize I, the soul, is connecting any human being that I'm meeting today has a soul, and only picking up and seeing their virtues, their specialities. By seeing the speciality of others, I become an instrument of Baba in spreading the power and strength in the environment, which is elevated, becomes elevated, and in turn allows everyone to be empowered and elevated. Even if I see any weaknesses in others, I keep an intention of they giving up on the weakness, or I be in support for them to move forward. And I don't imbibe any of others' weaknesses by gossiping about it or talking about it. I, the soul, stand in the place from where Baba has picked me. Each child of Baba has a specialty, and I shower that virtue of seeing the specialty of others as a practice for the day. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone.